Angry guy here, and women are dying. Women are dying. So we said this before and say it again. Nothing lasts forever. I've come to this article a few times, but I think it's always interesting to revisit it. That U.S. millennial women are now likely to die in their more likely to die in their late 20s and early 30s than any generation since the WW2 era. So, millennial women are passing away faster than any other previous generation. Gen Z women are also passing away at alarming rates, which is crazy because most of them are just around the age of 25 at oldest. But this is actually happening in Western society. So the decline actually started with US millennial women who saw their well being decline, a first in modern times. And this was per a nonprofit group. And basically, it found that the sudden reversal in progress for young women, women's safety comes despite an improved economic status. For decades, young women in the US saw sharp progress in their health and safety with each passing generation, but that momentum has now reversed for millennials. That's according to a November 30th report published by the Washington, D.C. based nonprofit Population Reference Bureau, which studied the well being of women aged 25 to 34 from each generation of Americans. It found that women born between 1981 and 1999, widely classified as millennials. Keep in mind, this actually does include Gen Z women because they are 1997 through 2012. And they have all seen the first drop in well being since the silent generation as they live through young adulthood. So Gen Z women are passing away faster than any previous generation. This is unbelievable. Many of them have barely started their lives, and this is happening. So women are now more likely to pass away in their late 20s and early 30s than at any other time in their lives. But for like I said, for Gen Z, that rate is now beginning to accelerate as well. And the rate has risen in parallel with a startling increase in maternal mortality rates among women aged 25 to 34, with 30.4 deletions due to pregnancy complications out of 100,000 births for millennials, the report said. That's compared to 21 deletions per 100,000 births for the silent generation, or women who were born during and before the WW2 era, and 7.5 for baby boomers, and 9.2 for Generation X when they were aged 25 to 34. The report acknowledged that part of the surge might be due to better data collection in recent years, but it also noted that after US states implemented a new data system in 2019, pregnancy deletions continue to rise sharply regardless. So it's not a result of changing over to a new data collection method. It's an over the from 2021 through 2024, the number of millennial women and Gen Z women who are passing away has skyrocketed. My millennial women are also the first in the last century to experience rising rates of control alt deleting and of self control alt deleting, with seven self control alt deletes among 100,000 women aged 25 to 34. The report said baby boomers and Gen X women, meanwhile, saw a respective 6 and 4.4 self control alt deletions per 100,000 women when they were aged 25 to 34, while while white millennial women saw their rates of self control alt deletion actually decline. Young Black American Indian or Alaskan Native mixed race and Hispanic women actually experienced increases. And when it came to rates of women being control alt deleted, rates for millennial women actually rose to 4.5 deletions per 100,000 women aged 25 to 34, compared to 4.3 deletions for Gen X women when they were the same age, according to the PRB. And then when it comes to really terrible deletions among young women, they actually fell to 3.3 per 100,000 people in 2017 when the PRB issued its last index, but statistics now show the rate swelled so quickly in the last 6 years that it surpassed that of Gen X, the report said. So it's absolutely insane how much it's increased. I don't know, guys. This is insane stuff. Modern women have really jumped the shark, but unfortunately, it appears that they cannot learn anything from what they've done because they are really too far gone. They believe that they are on this holier than thou thing, and men are walking away. The men are going overseas. Men are saying, we're done with this. We don't want these relationships. If you look at all the videos online, you have so many women who are just trying to shame and go after the passport kings. Although there are some women who do acknowledge that the passport kings, they're done with Western society and they have every right. You see, guys, these women are so bitter. They are so angry because they see that these passport kings are walking away from Western society. They see that they're having all this sex, all this success, and that other word too, overseas, and they're angry about it because they know that these men have the value. Women over in other countries are more than happy to take these men, more than grateful for these men, and it's just they can't live with that. They absolutely cannot live with that.
Take that the Gen Zers are not gonna like, but as a millennial, I firmly believe that we are gonna live longer than the Gen Zers, and here's why. And no, it's not vaping, drugs, or whatever. It's that millennials value sleep. I've noticed that my sister, who's a Gen Zer, doesn't have a normal sleep routine, whereas I do and my friends do, who are all millennials. Sleep is a vital part of your body restoring itself from the entire day. Think about your parents and your grandparents. They probably have a normal sleep routine and a normal waking hour routine, and you need to as well. And I think it's because the Gen Zers grew up in an iPad generation where if you needed soothing or entertainment or like a babysitter, it was the iPad. So you became accustomed and addicted to the iPad or a device in front of your face all throughout the day, all throughout the night. And I'm telling you, if you want to achieve your 2024 goals, weight loss, skincare, X, Y, and Z, whatever it might be, if you're not prioritizing your sleep, you are not going to hit those goals. So as your big sister, get a good night's rest tonight, okay?
It's so crazy, guys, because you look at Gen Zers and they look old. They look so old. They look busted, and it's like they're like, "Oh, you're just jealous of us because you want our lives." And a lot of them are not going to see 30. Like I didn't say 30 years. They're not going to see 30 years on this planet. Okay, I'm not talking about 30. They're not going to be here 30 years from now. No, many of them are not going to see 30 years. All right, they're not going to be here. They're not going to be here 30 years on the planet, and they don't realize it because of the really bad lives that they've been living. And you look at what the modern women with like the cosmetics and everything else, and they thought that they could have their way. They were going to be disrespectful. They were going to go on this rampage. And now God is real. Some of y'all don't believe, but I truly do believe God is real. And consequences. Consequences are real too. Actions have consequences, and now these women are facing a lot of the consequences for the decisions that they've made. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, I want to know your thoughts. I mean, like, I feel like modern women, there was a time before, like, I'd say it happened maybe 10 years ago. Like, there was 10 years ago where they could have, walked away from feminism, and they could have said, yeah, you know what, maybe this isn't going to work. But, they decided that they were going to double down, and this is the life that they wanted. This is the life that they chose. And now this is really what they're going to have to live with. They're going to have to live with consequences. And women are very adverse to consequences, to accountability, to responsibility. They will essentially go to great lengths to avoid having to deal with accountability, having to deal with responsibility, having to deal with consequences because they don't like these things. But they're going to face they're going to face consequences. They're going to face accountability. They're going to face responsibility. I want to know your thoughts regarding this. Because I think that it's pretty ridiculous what they're doing in Western society. Guys, if you're enjoying the content, help get the channel to 100,000 subscribers by subscribing to the channel if you already haven't, liking the video, and turning on notifications that never miss another video ever again. Women are passing away. What do you think is happening? What do you think is causing this? Let's know. Let's talk about it in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA, men walking away. and share.